Welcome to the Wellbeing Way.
Number one question of students is, why are we doing this?
The white horses, before you understand it, you'll think of it as first being kind of weird.
We wanted to see what happens when you take a group of college students to mentor high school students.
Yes, it's worth it. Everybody left saying it was really fun.
Is it necessary? I believe so.
And tell them how they feel matters.
What makes you happy in the quickest manner? What makes you find your feel when you're long-term aspects?
This is something a ninth grader should be exposed to, but I've been trying to perfect that for about 40 years.
Ninth grade's a difficult time for students transitioning from the middle school, and just a lot of physiological and psychological changes. They're not really sure where they fit in. So this might be something that kind of helps them figure out who they are early on in their high school career.
Freshman year of high school, everything's different. Everything has changed.
Seniors are mean to people.
People say that going from 8th grade to 9th grade is not that big of a deal, but when you're there and you're actually going from being a middle school student to a high school student, it's a lot of stuff you need to adjust to.
I was really impressed with the high school students because it's really hard to get, I think. I have younger brothers in high school, and it's really hard to get them to actually take it seriously.
So I really focused on, special things about themselves and picked out the differences amongst the group, and then talked about what did they like to do. And okay, well, you like to do this. How often do you do this? Why do you do this?
But she wouldn't stop asking me questions. She'd drill you on it and get it out of you. So she did a really good job.
They really enjoyed having a college student because they felt like they could really relate to us.
She shared also and kind of not pushy about things, which made things a lot easier. So more like one of us instead of an adult forcing us to do things.
My favorite thing was connecting with the students personally, because I would go out in Oxford to the grocery store and they would see me and be like, "Oh, Mindy, how are you?"
I think that she was really good in making them see that we actually listened and we actually cared about what we were discussing, even if it was just, 40 minutes once a week.
I hit it off great with my teacher. We had very similar personalities, and we actually had a lot of the same feel with running or just being active outside. And she was very involved, so I thought that was going to help our process with the students.
One of my favorite things we did was when we drew our emotion or how we wanted to feel that day. Mine was bubbly, and I drew a person blowing a bubble.
They really, really liked Pictionary. They raved about Pictionary.
Not said! No. Not
I like the Pictionary game.
I was sick for that.
Certain activities, like I mentioned, the game with no name, I think that they really enjoyed.
The one that I think about that we had a lot of energy was the healthy behaviors one, which was interesting. That brought up a lot of discussion.
They weren't even focused on, that they were in enrichment or they were participating in the Wellbeing Way. They were just kind of lost in their ideas and in their brainstorming and recalling the memories that made them feel happy.
The Being Alive Day, they were all the kids were really into it, and I think they liked sharing the stuff they did.
I think that there were some kids that, were able to start looking in towards themselves a little more. I think that that's where the whole feel thing comes from.
The feel thing, I like playing sports a lot. I play baseball, football, and I wrestle.
Your feel is what you want yourself to be, how you want to act.
Instead of my feel is, raspberries or something, it's my feel is when I'm doing these things, this is how I like to be.
Trying to get to your the best of yourself.
I thought running was my entire life and made up who I was, and the 3 months that I couldn't run, I realized there was a lot more that I enjoyed and liked and was my feel.
You work on being yourself and being healthy and doing things that you actually want to do.
I couldn't stand, sitting in that cubicle. Some people like that, some people don't. And I know my feel isn't that.
We're just trying to get you guys to think a little more about yourself and, carry that with you with everything that you do. That is your feel.
I really like art and band and science.
I like to ride horses and just I'll do any kind of activities that involves you moving around, and I don't like to sit at home and watch TV.
Cycling's something I'm really into. I really like at home. There's a lot of vineyards. When I really think of what I like the most, it's in the fall around harvest time, going through the vineyards when it blows, like the wind blows through it, you can smell all the grapes. It's pretty zen.
It's the sense of like when you're out on the field and you got a bunch of other guys behind you, the feel you get from being out on the field with those guys and like playing with them and, you know, getting hit, it's just awesome.
Finding what makes you feel better, because you emphasize feel a lot. When finding what makes you feel better, it'll make you perform better.
Me being excited about what I do makes all the difference.
Because you don't want to go through the day being like, oh, I hate what I do, I hate what I'm doing, I don't want to do this.
And even just like not the day, but in the long term.
Yeah.
Like
throughout your life.
Yeah.
Like your whole life.
The purpose of the Wellbeing Way was to have students figure out what is it that drives them, what is it that they enjoy doing most, and kind of take that and carry it over to all aspects of their life.
I was kind of like really not wanting to share because I was just like kind of wanting to stay in the corner by myself, hiding.
And then during one of the question sessions that I had, I just, asked her if she could answer a question. She kind of looked up and then she got really excited about, talking about taking pictures.
Photography is just a way for me to express my feelings because, I don't know, it's just easier to express it through photography than to actually go to somebody and tell them how I'm feeling.
I knew that this was what she'd like to do based on knowing what feel is.
Focusing on something other than all the bad things that have built up, so you're just kind of like feeling a lot freer.
And so then she just moved her hair out of her face and just lit up, and everyone knew that, wow, we never knew this about this person, and this is what it is.
It gives people a sense of who I am, like, other than what they see on the outside.
I saw this whole program as like a process where you're getting the kids to like know who they are. Like you're teaching them and giving them the tools to have the data to find out about themselves, to find out where their strengths are, to find out what their passion is.
It's a method of self-discovery, really, that you're finding who you are, what you like, and you may not have the answers right away. It may be something that just raises questions.
To be honest, I thought it was kind of cheesy, but now I really got to know a lot of the people in my enrichment class. And sometimes it's kind of wondering, why did it have to be our class? Why couldn't it be the whole school doing it?
With Wellbeing Way, they asked you, how do you feel? Like, nobody else would do that, but Wellbeing Way.
Truly, it was to find yourself. I probably found myself in what I really like to do, but at the same time, trying to help the things that I don't like to do.
I went through high school and I know a lot about math and I know a lot about social studies and I know a lot about everything else, but when I graduated, I really didn't know a lot about myself. And I struggled through college because of that, because I was so prescripted.
And after Wellbeing Way, you have to truly find yourself and what you want to do, what your heart is screaming at you to do.